Hey for lifers, it's your girl Tiana here. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and become a part of the family here.
Ooh, it's just something about the way she moves. I can't figure it out, there's something about her.
Alright y'all, so I was going to come on here and apologize for my appearance, but this is how I look when I'm home, especially on a Sunday. So this is what y'all get. Hope y'all don't get upset. As you can tell by the title, we're going to do something a little bit different than I normally do here on my channel. I've never actually done a video like this before. We are going to be meal prepping together. If you watch my vlogs, then you know that I typically sometimes include my meal prep segments inside of my vlogs, but I wanted to do it as a whole separate video. So that's what we're going to do today. So Sundays are meal prep days. I prep lunch for the week. I prep dinner for the week. This week we will be, and sometimes I do breakfast. Today we're not going to do breakfast. We're only going to meal prep lunch and dinner. My goals when meal prepping are to hit my macros. So currently in my fitness journey, I'm in my muscle building phase, not like bodybuilder type of muscle, but just toned and defined. There's an appearance I'm going for, let's just put it that way. My macros right now are based on my just maintenance. In the past, I've had a really hard time with meeting calories and meeting just regular calories to eat. For a very long time I was under eating, like maxing out at 1,200 calories a day. And once I started actually tracking my macros about 2 months ago, maybe a little less, about a month and a half ago, I realized that the amount I was eating before was nowhere near where I need to be, even for just everyday basic maintenance. So currently my macros are, I'm supposed to be eating 2,100 calories a day, 60 grams of fat, 284 grams of carbs, 130 grams of protein. If you don't know how to calculate your macros, you can Google it. There's literally free online macro calculators. So me meal prepping has helped out a ton with that. So now that I feel like I've just explained a whole lot of things to you, let's discuss what's going to be on the menu for this week. So we're going to start by meal prepping the lunch, simply because I've already started with one of the things because it takes a long time. So this week for lunch, we are going to do chicken. I have these chicken breast thin slice with rib meat right here. So we're gonna cook these. We're also going to pair that with some red quinoa, of which is already on the stove. I did 1/3 cup dry of that. And then with that, we're going to do 2 zucchinis and 2 squash. And I'll show you how I'm going to cut these up, and we're just going to pop these right in the oven. On the menu for dinner, I'm not going to grab out those ingredients right now because I don't need them yet. We're going to do one then the other. We are going to do ground turkey patties, sweet potatoes, and a cucumber salad. So I'm super excited about all the things that we have on the menu this week. I can't wait to get into it. So let's start with lunch. So we're going to start by preheating the oven for the veggies and the chicken. Next, I'm going to go ahead and, of course, tie my apron on because we don't want to get food splatters anywhere. Prep the pan with some foil, and then I'm going to start cutting the zucchini and the squash. I cut the ends off and then cut each squash in half and then in half again, and then just made 4 long stalks with both of my squashes and both of my zucchinis, and then laid them out on the foil. Next, we're going to get ready to add some seasoning. So of course I start with a drizzle of olive oil, some black pepper, some garlic powder, some oregano, and then I use my hands to just mix all those seasonings together and then arrange the zucchinis and the squash in 2 neat rows as best as I can get them before popping them in the oven and then getting ready to start our chicken. I'm going to lay out my 5 chicken breast thin cutlets, and then I'm going to sprinkle or drizzle some herb garlic seasoning on that and use a spatula or a brush to kind of brush that out. Use some seasoning, some poultry seasoning. Then we'll use some adobo seasoning. Got to be careful because that can be a little salty. Garlic powder and turmeric. And then we're going to flip those over and do the same exact thing to the other side.
Y'all, I don't know what happened to my voice in this segment. All the background noises there, everything except my voice. But basically, I was just saying that for the most part, everything for lunch is done besides the things in the oven. I've already put my quinoa in their containers. When the other stuff comes out, we'll put that in the containers. But let's start dinner. So I'm going to use 4 medium-sized, small to medium-sized sweet potatoes, and I'm going to cut them into about 1-inch sections. So I cut them in half and then just dice them down into, like I said, about 1-inch sections. And I think that'll be plenty enough for this week's meal prep. Now it's time to season these up. So of course we'll start with some olive oil, then we'll use some garlic pepper, and then I'm just going to use my hands to toss that together. So our lunch is all the way done, nice and in the containers. I love that. Now I can really just focus on dinner. I'm going to go ahead and lay out my sweet potato chunks onto a foil pan, and then pop those in the oven. Next, we're going to move on to our turkey patties. So I'm going to use, I think for this week, I use 93% lean and 1 egg. And then we'll use some black pepper. We'll use some adobo seasoning. We'll use some chipotle seasoning. And y'all don't judge me, but I use gloves, especially if my nails are done, because I don't like getting ground turkey meat up under my nails. I'm just going to use my hands and just form these into patties. I was able to get 5 patties and then just use the little bit of leftover that was in there and kind of even it out between my 5 patties to finish off and use up all of the turkey meat. Those will go in the oven, and then when everything is done, I just kind of put them into containers to have them in my fridge and not have to take up too much space with individual containers for each day. Now we're ready to move on to the cucumber salad. I use 2 English cucumbers. English cucumbers are pretty long and they stay fresh, I feel, for longer than regular cucumbers. So that's what I like to use for my cucumber salad. And you see me just cutting those into 4 sections and then cutting the sections into like 1/2-inch size cucumber chunks. The recipe also calls for red onion, so we're going to dice up about 1/3 of a red onion. This was perfect amount of onion. I had this actually in the fridge. It was getting ready to go bad, so I figured let me go ahead and use it up. Chop that up and toss that into our cucumber salad. After mixing together the first 2 ingredients, we'll go ahead and dice up some tomatoes. I just use grape tomatoes because they're easy to use, easy to cut, especially when you want to cut them small and mix them into something. So I used about 15, and that was a perfect amount of tomatoes. And you just see me dice them up, nice, small, and then adding them to my cucumber salad and tossing it all together. Next, we'll add some cilantro in there, mix and toss, some olive oil, some lemon juice, and some salt. Give it a good toss, and then we're almost done. 1 more ingredient to add. Y'all, I low-key forgot that I had garbanzo beans to add, but I'm so glad I looked into the cabinet because this was that extra added protein that I was going to need. So 1 whole can of garbanzo beans, rinse and drain them, add them to the cucumber salad, and there you have it. Again, I don't know what happened to my voice in these videos. It was there. I don't know what happened, but thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today while I meal prepped my lunch and my dinner. Like I said, normally these are included in my weekly vlogs, but I kind of want to do a separate video breaking it down for you guys to see a little bit more. So thanks so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me. Subscribe if you are not already, and I'll see you guys in my next video.
She got her own thing. That's why I love her. Miss Independent.